So if you're not online, if you haven't figured out how to sell your products online, you're just not going to be around very long, or the chances are very, very slim. You have to figure out how to sell your online products, whether it's a service, whatever it is. This is a necessity. This is a shift in the economy, and we want to be able to help everybody out there adjust, because it is scary. There are different times. Things have shifted here, and if you're not keeping up with the times, you're going to get left behind.
Welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast, the show that inspires, promotes, and gives you a daily dose of inspiration from the people who have used cannabis to change their lives in extraordinary ways. Here's your host, Justin Benton.
Welcome back to the Miracle Plant Podcast, where we discuss this miracle plant with so many names and how it's changing people's lives in so many extraordinary ways. Well, today we have a very different topic. Most of our podcasts have really focused on this miracle plant, the stories, and all that it's brought and enriched in so many people's lives. But today we're going to be talking about what I've spent the last 2 years of my life focused on. As we all know, when the shutdown started happening roughly 2 years ago, over 50% of U.S. shoppers started shopping online. People that had never, ordered groceries before, or food delivery before, or even knew what a QR code was, started using all of that technology and started shopping online. Well, in the CBD hemp cannabis space, shopping online, advertising online is nearly impossible. And we have spent the last 2 years of spending resources, time, energy, flying around, joining masterminds, working with experts, finding mentors, finding the best of the best, partnering. And I want to share some of those secrets with you today, because I know so many companies out there, are so many solopreneurs who are trying to get into this space because it's affected their life, or they're attracted to it. They don't even know why, but they want to be in this space. But the biggest obstacle currently, especially in the hemp and the CBD space, is how do I get traffic? How do I get more customers? How do I get them to my website? Over 90% of the companies in this space are online only. And if you can't advertise on Facebook, on Google, on Instagram, on YouTube, how are you supposed to attract customers? One of the things that you can do is obviously start a podcast like we did at the Miracle Plant Podcast, and you can advertise on podcasts like you can on ours and other hemp and cannabis podcasts as well. That's one way to drive traffic. The traditional ways, the platforms that so many people are familiar with, is Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube. So today, I want to share some secrets. I want to give you some help. I know that I've dedicated, 24 months of my life figuring this out, and it was no easy chore. And so I want to kind of bring some of that, those secrets to light, share what I've learned, and help you implement them for your business, and help you as well. So that's what the show is about today. We got Dan and my mom Janet here. Welcome back. I know it's we took a couple weeks off for live broadcast because there was lots of travel. In fact, one of the reasons I was gone is I was in Mexico at a business retreat, working with over 600 millionaires and entrepreneurs online, sharing secrets, masterminds. We're helping each other's businesses. Oh, this is how you do this, and this is how you do that. And oh, I can help you with that. And well, I can help you with that. And you literally we went to a place, Playa del Carmen, south of Cancun, at this ex-Carat resort, and it was amazing. And we spent 4 or 5 days up all night brainstorming, sharing ideas, and doing all those kinds of things. And that's why I want to bring this back to you. This is what my life has become, is becoming a digital marketing expert. So Dan, Janet, welcome to the episode. Glad to hear from you guys. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing great. And what you're talking about is so important. I'm constantly frustrated. I can't imagine your frustration, Justin, that there's just more and more restrictions on what you can say about hemp and its health benefits. Even though there's 25 published peer-reviewed med studies on PubMed, you still can't say simple things. And so we're definitely being squeezed in this business to not to say anything. And so you're right. The marketing becomes more and more critical every day when you aren't even allowed to say anything like, oh, except I have a nice green plant here. So I think it's critical what you're doing to show people how to still thrive with that kind of critical environment we're living in right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say the marketing or the ability to advertise, that target keeps moving. One day you can say this, and the next day you can't, and no one tells you when that's going to change. So many companies get shadow banned or blocked, or even just complete. They don't know why their Instagram feed isn't filling in, or why their Facebook messages aren't reaching other people. It's just really strange why we have to deal with this, given all the knowledge that's it's pretty much accepted worldwide. Why we are still dealing with this, but we certainly are. That's for sure.
I notice it also in terms of the website. They're constantly now searching through websites word by word to find anything that might imply there's any benefit to CBD or CBDA. I personally, and maybe Justin, you know more about this background than I do. I think it's the FDA. They are desperate to support the pharmaceutical industry and say that only pharmaceutical CBD and can be sold. And so I think that's where it's coming in. It's really coming to a head as CBD gets more and more popular, and so many people are realizing that they can get better and with pain and sleep and anxiety and all the things we see every day, they can get better without pharmaceuticals. And so many of the people we work with come in taking 10, 20 literally medications. And then after they are on it for a while, they don't need the medications anymore and they switch to CBD. I had a guy come in the store yesterday who'd had a severe concussion in an accident, and he'd been taking our product, and he stopped in to slow down how much he was getting per month because he was healed. And there's not too many things out there that actually heal severe brain damage or the severe concussion he had. So I think obviously we're a threat to the medical profession, the pharmaceutical industry, and whoever's behind all this. Like I say, Dan, I agree. I would love to know where it's all coming from and even to find out what the rules are. And so anyway, I think what Justin's doing is a necessary and fantastic step to find out how do we work within this shrinking cage of what we're allowed to say.
Yeah, and obviously, you just have to follow the money. There isn't rocket science to it. The pharmaceutical industry is as big as any industry out there: oil, tobacco, firearms, big food, agra, you name it. And so we're talking billions, and even it's basically $1 trillion industry. And so, there is a process in our country that you get certain stamps of approval from the FDA and certain patents, and that's the game that's being played on a publicly traded game. And so, anything that's a threat to that, when you're the king of the hill, you can certainly send boulders down to knock people off and keep your position on top of that hill. And so, obviously, this holistic movement, the CBD, awakening people to the idea that actually you could grow a plant and just eat it, and it could actually help you. And then people, as we've done in our summits, take control of your health. You start eating better, drinking more water, sleeping, exercising, and being mindful. Those 5 pillars. We're seeing this awakening, this raising of consciousness of people that are actually able to take control of their own health, and that doesn't suit big pharma very well. So yes, even the fact that we have our own database of internal opted-in phone numbers of people that want to receive text messages from us, we are being not allowed to send out text messages to our own opted-in text audience because of some I believe it was called the flood or some crazy acronym that had to do with alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. And they lumped CBD in there. This was a very recent turn of events. So it's no holds bars. I mean, we're at war. And the war is people taking control of their own health through natural plant-based medicine versus the pharmaceutical model that sits on top. And so again, that's why it's so hard. That's why it doesn't make sense, Dan, why we all know that this product helps. But right now, the way the FDA set up that you can't say anything unless you jump through all their multi-million dollar hoops. And that's the game that's being played. They're trying to push this natural plant, you know, food essential, as Dr. William Courtney would say, and they're trying to say, hey, well, we're gonna rule on it the same way we would pharmaceuticals, and that's why Congress still hasn't. Well, Congress is actually pushing the FDA to pass legislation to make it a clear pathway. In fact, California, we just passed our hemp bill back last month, October, and we were able to find out that Here's a really cool thing is that based on the language and our attorneys, that we can actually advertise some of the, not necessarily a health claim, but something that's been proven by science or that someone has had happen to them. So it's actually in contradiction of what the FDA is scanning through websites and stopping. So don't be surprised if one day we're going head to head with the FDA. And I mean literally my name, our organization, because we have found a stance. Just like when we took down the research paper my mom wrote on COVID in the beginning of all of this, we took it down because we didn't. It was too white hot of a topic at the time, and we didn't have enough supporting evidence until things like Oregon State came out. And so this time, we're going to keep fighting. And if it's us against the FDA, fine, because sometimes that's what has to happen. There has to be a lawsuit. There has to be someone that says enough is enough and fight and go to court and battle and make common sense become common practice. And so that's what someday we'll probably have to do. That's how it works in our country. If you want to make change, you got to be the change. And sometimes you got to go do it in the courtroom. So, but again, I digress. This particular discussion is about how do we overcome all of that? How do we, as business owners, and this can now apply to any business, but obviously this is the Miracle Plant and we're more focused on hemp, CBD, and cannabis, but this applies to any business. If you're a business owner or want to be an entrepreneur, we set up a website called Effortless-Traffic, because not only did we crack the code, we cracked the code of how to get our messages and our ads online in the CBD industry, which took me over 2 years to crack. But in doing so, we also figured out how to build internal and external teams to actually be able to do it effortlessly. You don't even have to do it yourself. We actually have teams of people that we hired for our own organization that we did such a great job that we can actually help other organizations get their traffic going, and they don't have to do anything. Because it's one thing to get an ad live on Facebook, and it's in the CBD space, and it's quite yet another thing to get an ad live and figure out how to actually do all the hoops and jumping and how to do a good targeted, retargeted ad on Facebook. And so we took all the mystery out of it. And like I said, I think the best thing that I can do right now for this industry is teach others and help others get through those obstacles and pitfalls that I've gone through over the last 2 years. So that's what we're so excited to share with everybody. You just head over to effortless-traffic.com, and there'll be a couple questions there, and we'll give you a phone call and get on the horn and talk this thing through with you, answer any questions that you have, and help you get your business up and going. And like I said, it doesn't have to be hemp, CBD, or cannabis. That's just the industry that we're most accustomed to, and it's one of the hardest industries to advertise. So that was my other thought was, man, if we crack the code in this, we could help so many other businesses in just regular industries, like selling beauty products. How easy would that be? So once we crack this nut, we know that we can help a lot of other business owners, because we're in a different time now. The world shifted. The average American, 17% Americans shopped online primarily. That number tripled over the past 2 years. Tripled. So if you're not online, if you haven't figured out how to sell your products online, you're just not going to be around very long, or the chances are very, very slim. You have to figure out how to sell your online products, whether it's a service, whatever it is. This is a necessity. This is a shift in the economy, and we want to be able to help everybody out there adjust, because it is scary. There are different times. Things have shifted here, and if you're not keeping up with the times, you're going to get left behind.
Are you ready to lift off? Grow your cannabis brand at Canada's #1 cannabis conference and trade show. Don't miss your chance to connect with movers, shakers, and decision makers from across the cannabis industry at Lift & Co. Expo this May 12th through the 15th at Metro Toronto Convention Center. Booth packages and partnerships are available for cannabis businesses of all types and sizes. Level up your cannabis brand at Lift & Co. Expo, May 12th through the 15th in Toronto. Visit liftexpo.ca for more information. That's liftexpo.ca.
Pretty exciting news. What do you guys think?
I think it's fantastic because you're right. You've got to keep fighting the bears as they appear. And so just having a great product and having great success with it and educating people and having great goals of, spreading it around the world, every one of those things we were trying to do has been starting to be stifled just by the more and more control of what we can say with any kind of marketing or even any statement on the website or whatever. So no, it's a critical phase in the whole, hemp natural food movement or whatever. So I think it's absolutely critical what you to actually still be heard online. And I don't know what percent, but I know a huge percent of people do all their orals all the time. So you're right, it's how people are, and it's just going to get more and more people are going to be doing that. So anyway, learn more about it myself.
Absolutely, and Faith's playing pitcher right now, making some good fielding. Even if the ball's hit out to right field, she's running out there and getting the ball. Just giving you an update on T-ball here from the Kwiatkowski Park #2. But so, anyways, yeah. Again, we really want to help, and we've cracked the code, and we know we can help so many more. And we look forward to talking to some more people in at NOCO and in this industry about helping them crack this code for their business too. So that we're just really excited. It's effortless-traffic.com. Dan, did you have anything to say before we wrapped up the shorter version by T-ball, baseball, and volleyball this morning?
Yeah. This really goes to your bigger mission, and I think that needs to be constantly reminded to everybody to reach 1 billion people by 2025 with the message of the benefits of CBD. It's going to be difficult to do it by yourself, but you know that if you can teach other people in the industry and other people in the CBD space how to get the message out, we're all working towards the same thing. And even though there's some competitive aspects, I love the fact that you're able to take that hat off and share these secrets that you invested a lot of money and a lot of your life and a lot of time and sacrifice to understand and learn this, and to share that with the rest of with the industry is a real testament to your commitment to this mission that you have. So kudos to you for doing it.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, and it's I know how hard it is out there, and unfortunately, there have been so many companies that have shut down in the last 2 years in this space, and so anything I can do to help, I'm here to help. It's not about me. It's not about making money. It's not about ego or any of that stuff. We were looking for a miracle, and we had a severe diagnosis for our child, and it was always my moral obligation when we found the answer. Working with my mom in health, nutrition, and lots of raw CBDA whole plant oil was to pay it forward and reach 1 billion people. So whether that's through our products or through education or through teaching people how to grow in their backyard, or teaching people how to stay in business and make money online, we need to make that shift. We all know, deep down, all of us know, when we just stop and self-reflect and look intuitively into our soul, that the big pharma model is not working. It is not helping humanity. And so we need to make sure that we get back to simpler times of eating right, thinking right, drinking water, exercising, sleeping, those just fundamental essentials. And this is what we're all about. So I want to thank everybody for coming by, making time for us today, and tuning in to the Miracle Plant Podcast. We will be back next week. Don't forget, if this sounds of interest to you, you want to learn some more about online business and driving traffic, or even getting started in the CBD hemp industry. We've helped dozens of companies, hundreds probably, get started in the industry. Reach out to me. We can certainly shepherd you and help make sure you find a great product that serves the audience that you were called to serve. So at the end of every podcast, we say heal the world, because that is the mission here at the Miracle Plant Podcast, to get out there and heal the world one family at a time, one podcast at a time. So on the count of 3, let's say heal the world, everybody. 1, 2, 3.
Heal the world! Woo!
Thanks for tuning in to the Miracle Plant Podcast. We will see you next week.
Tell me, boy. Hi, my name is Kira Reed, and I'd like to invite you to be inspired by the women who are leading in the cannabis industry. Each week, we will discuss empowerment, leadership, and what it means to be a woman in charge in marijuana, hemp, and CBD. As the founder of the Women Empowered in Cannabis community, I have had the great pleasure to get to know many brilliant and talented women who are CEOs, executives, politicians, advocates, and community leaders that are focused on creating a cannabis economy that is just, fair, and equal. We'll learn how these women make decisions, how they navigate a predominantly male industry, and what they're doing to level the playing field for women. I hope you'll join us.